Hello, everyone. So thanks for joining us today. Today, I have with me Katia Archer Guillaume, she is a fellow Haitian, so she is from Haiti like me. She married the love of her life, Gabby Guillaume, and they have a son together and they're expecting a girl. She's a health and fitness coach, and we're going to be talking about natural hair as Black women who, have chosen to wear our hair naturally. So tell me a little, so I'm going to turn it over to her.
All right. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I'm happy. Thank you for saying yes to joining me today.
Of course.
Good, great. So Katia, tell me, we're gonna delve into the hair stuff before, and then we'll talk a little bit about the other stuff. So I want you to tell me, did you always wear your hair natural? Because when I met you, I think it was about a little bit less than 2 years ago. I had just come back from Miami, from DC, and I remember meeting you at a party. Your hair is beautiful, I have to say. So did you always wear it naturally? Tell me about that.
Right. Well, my journey started, a couple of years ago, as far as when I decided to wear it naturally. But although I was born, of course, with this hair, I never accepted it. So for the first, I don't know, until my early teens, although I carried it, wore it naturally, I hated it. And, because to me, it wasn't the picture of what beauty was, because I was sold to the idea that beautiful was straight hair. And so to give you an idea, like when I was born, like my aunt who came to visit at the hospital to say, pay her visit to see the newborn, one of her first reaction was like, she's gonna need a perm, she's gonna need a relaxer. And this was like a joke as in the family, in terms of like they would tell me that, oh, this is what she said. Mm-hmm. But somehow it stayed with me that, oh, I needed that relaxer to be accepted, to be who I was. So I never liked it. So as soon as I turned, I think it was 12, I begged my parents to let me relax my hair. And I carried my hair relaxed throughout, pretty much like my early adulthood until I became pregnant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was a long time. And it was really, for me, that mindset of, because in Haiti, I don't know if you experienced that, but this type of hair is viewed as bad hair, or anything that is not straight, like someone from India or maybe someone from China, it's not considered good hair, or at least that's how I perceived it, so that's the image that I received early on. So for me, like until I could get that straight hair, I didn't have what it took to look good. And but now when I became pregnant, I became more concerned about the chemicals and the products that were in those relaxers, and I kind of decided to stop relaxing my hair at the time, mostly because of the baby that was growing inside of me. And I figured that, I'm not sure what's in it, so let me not take a chance. And of course, 9 months into it, I had like a lot of roots and my hair was growing. And I thought to myself, that's not a bad idea. But still, I wasn't really sold to the idea of having it straight. But then after I had my son, I suffered, I think, what many women suffer from, which is excessive hair loss. It's actually not excessive hair loss in the sense that after you have a baby, you lose all the hair you did not lose, when you were pregnant. So it felt like, oh my gosh, like if I go relax my hair, I felt like I was going to turn bald. So I was just so worried about adding the extra, chemicals, that I figured maybe I'm going to give it a try. But then again, like, it was that thought kept coming in my head. But I was never really sold on the idea, because I didn't feel like, again, that I would look good, because it was that kind of fear of, what am I going to look like? Am I going to be accepted with my hair in that way? And I think for me, the turning point was when I overheard a conversation that my dad and my little sister were having, and she was begging my dad to allow her to relax her hair. And my dad, knowing that she looked beautiful the way she did, because she has her hair pattern is a little bit looser than mine, and it's just beautiful. And I was even the one telling her, you shouldn't relax it. And when she challenged my dad about, getting it done, my dad kept telling her, no, your hair is beautiful as it is. And her answer was, well, if my sister has it, why can't I have a relaxer?
Yeah.
I thought like that made me realize, what message am I giving her? Am I telling her from the get-go that she's not good enough, that she needs to change something about herself, to be accepted, to be beautiful? So that kind of led me to really make that decision. And so since then I decided, and my last relaxer was in 2013. So
Oh, good.
and then I took the plunge and did the big chop. Yeah, I did the big chop in 2014, which is like basically cutting it all off except the roots that I had that were natural. So yeah, so it's been some time.
That's good. That's good. And how are you enjoying it? You know?
Well, I'm loving it now. And, it wasn't always that way, because at first, and that's the part, like when people ask me, like, how has it been? The beginning was the toughest, which is a transitioning phase. And again, I'm not sure if all your followers are familiar with what it is to transition, but it's really when you're having to deal with two hair textures, that gets a little tough. Because, when I would go and, try to wash my hair and try to detangle, I'm fighting with, what they call a nappy hair under, and then like chemically relaxed hair, and it would never really be an easy process, because the products that would work for one type of hair wouldn't work for the other type of hair. And that was a tough stage. So really for me, it all became an enjoyable process when I actually did the big chop, because I was like, okay, I'm dealing with one type of hair and I can deal with that. And it was just, a much smoother process since then, for sure.
No, I totally get that, because I have to say that, I know how it is. And I think I shared recently in one of my Facebook Live how I came home and my mom had a relative over and she was like, what did you do to your hair? I mean, I don't even remember. I guess she must have known me when I was wearing my hair relaxed. And so, yeah, there's a lot of people that when they see our hair looking the way it looks naturally, it's considered bad hair to them. And it's like, really? So I completely get that. And I get, the journey, because I went through it as well, And so I wanted to ask you, now that you are comfortable with it and you seem like you're loving it, how important would you say your hair, your natural hair, is to you as being your true self, as being Katia?
Right. Well, that's the thing. Starting the process, I had no idea what was going to unravel from it. But it really,
you never know.
I know. I didn't know what I was going to find under, that relaxed hair. But really what I found was freedom, to tell you the truth, and freedom in being who I am. And, and not letting me be dictated by who society made me think I should be. So really that has allowed me to, to express myself in such a different way than before, as opposed to trying to fit in. Now it's more of, okay, I am who I am and it is what it is, And so it has really helped me become more comfortable in so many areas of my life, whether it be how I conduct myself and, what is important to me, and being okay with the fact that, we're all different. We have different point of views, and it really has impacted me in many, many ways, in a positive way, for sure. Yes.
Great. No, I can definitely, because I know for myself, I have to say, my natural journey kind of like went right along to me becoming an entrepreneur. Exactly. I actually remember in 2011 when I decided to go natural, but I did it gradually. I was living in DC at the time. I didn't want, because I remember once I went really short in Miami, but I still had a relaxer, and it was like a February. It was cold, and I was like, what's going on? What's going on? Because I didn't have my hair anymore. So it didn't get, so I remember that, and it's even colder there. So I was like, I have to be able to wear my hair in a ponytail. Like, I need the hair because I didn't want to deal with the, And so I remember, like, I did the chop, but I did it gradually. Like, what I did is every 3 months, they would cut 2 to 3 inches. But the funny thing is, it was growing right back, So just to show, how they say when you cut your hair regularly, when you really do what you're supposed, trim them, they do grow. So in 2012, in May 2012 is when I went natural, and I left my 9-to-5 job and stepped into this journey in September. So it's very much, and I really think it represents me, like the true me, the true Nadjejda, So I can totally relate. So tell me, how do you handle those who make comments or are not happy about the natural hair that you went, like
Right.
you carry? I'd love to know how you handle that.
Right, right. Yeah, that's definitely something that comes with the territory, right? You know firsthand. So I think at first, and that's the thing that's show, that has helped the fact that I've evolved in the process and has allowed me to evolve. At first, when I was in the transitioning phase, and even when I just cut my hair, I was still pretty insecure about how it looked, and how I looked and what it meant about me. So every single comment, I felt that I had to address it, or I felt that it was targeted at me. And it was like at the beginning, like it would be like, man, I can't believe, in my head, so-and-so said this, so-and-so said that. But then really the aha moment for me was when I started kind of going deeper and realizing that if God, the creator of the universe, decided to give me curly hair, and if he wanted to give me straight hair, he would have given me straight hair. Who was I to challenge that? Who was I, to think that I should change his plans? So it was really a matter of accepting what actually he had given me first, and realizing that if it was good enough for him, it would be good enough for me. And therefore, I didn't it totally freed me from people's opinions and concern, because I was like at a completely different level at that point. And it was like the most amazing experience to have that, because it equipped me. Because otherwise, I actually would hear friends of mine be concerned that, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to do. So curly hair, right? Curly hair friends. I don't know what I'm going to do with my hair to go to that wedding or to go to that job interview. How am I going to put my hair? What am I going to do with this or that? But then again, that statement resonated and stayed with me, and it had allowed me to address every single one of those issues. Because again, every time I would hear that, it would make me think, well, if you're not accepted because of your hair, then there's a bigger problem, or if you have to change your hair, of course, we all know that you have to be well groomed. That's of course a given. But to me, it made me realize that if you believe that your hair is going to be the determining factor, then maybe that should be something that you should address deeper and look into deeper, because quite frankly, it should not be the determining factor of whether you get the job or not, I believe. And again, so it freed me from people's opinion. And also it kind of made me realize that it was their own insecurity about it. And I was there not too long ago. So for me, I had to really look for a solution in terms of mentally look for acceptance mentally, but they never had to do it because they never had that hair. So it was really about accepting the fact that they're coming from a different place and they don't have that need to address that concern as I did. So it was really about, educating more people about, okay, this is my hair, this is how it grows, and kind of, showing them that this is just the way it is, and it's going to stay that way. I remember, I think I had a family member that actually, I can't remember the comment, quite frankly, but his thing was like, oh, it's nice, I like it. But it was at the beginning, and I had found this belief in me. And I kind of told him jokingly, I'm like, don't worry, whether you like it or not, it's staying. And it was like, when I said it, it made me realize that I had really accepted it for what it was. Because before, I would have been like, oh man, maybe I should do this or do that, and try to go with fads and different styles. But really, it is the way it is. When I wet it, it comes out this way. It's like, so it really has been a great experience because of that, for sure.
Yeah, no, good. And I was just thinking, as you were saying, how isn't it something how in order to be well groomed, some people think that we have to wear our hair straight because we can't have our hair curly and big and be like, that doesn't look like we're clean. It doesn't.
Exactly. Exactly. But then again, yeah.
And I get what you were saying in some way, because I was just thinking, maybe they were thinking, is she going through a phase, and or maybe she's just wearing her hair like that today,
exactly.
It's exactly. Like I shared, and I think I shared that with you before, where a few years ago, like 2 years ago, because I haven't blow dried my hair for over 2 years now. I remember I wore my hair, I blow dried it because normally I would do every like twice a year, but it's been like over 2 years I haven't even done that. And I remember I posted a picture because I went for a trim and I blow dried it. I posted a picture and some people were like, oh my God, it look, of course people liked it. For me, I also like that freedom that I can wear it curly and I can wear it straight. And it's like I don't have this chemical or I don't have to let it grow out or whatever. But of course, I did have comments of people were like, oh, I really like your hair like that. Or you need to keep it like that.
I know.
Like, because, it's sort of like having to please them.
Exactly.
Yeah. So tell me about how would you say that this journey has like impacted you, like having your hair natural as an entrepreneur? I can sense that you were saying, in terms of your confidence, but how would you say as an entrepreneur that it has really impacted you?
Right.
What has it
Well,
done for you, would you say?
right. Well, for one thing, it definitely has attracted quite a few curly hair friends. So that's been amazing. And it's a growing community. So I love it. And, but really in terms of, like you said, in terms of the confidence, it just made me feel more confident in who I am and not having to pretend to be someone else in order for me to grow my business and help people.
Mm-hmm.
And actually the freedom that I got from getting to know myself better, owning my truth, owning who I am, has enabled me to be a better coach, quite frankly, because, it's one thing to help people lose weight because as a health and fitness coach, that's what the essence of what I do is to help people get healthier, help people lose weight or look better overall. But to me, I think it goes so much deeper than what the scale says, because, on the scale, you could lose all the weight you ever wanted to lose. But if you're not happy inside, it's never going to make any difference in your life. You'll go right back to that point. So it's always been about helping my challengers and my customers, like, realize that really the weight is just one part of the equation, but accepting who you are and knowing that, whether you're this weight or that weight, it will always be, you. And it's just the fact that it's a beautiful thing, and the world needs more of you. The world doesn't need you to be one specific size, although we tend to believe that we the social media and everything is making us believe that we have to look a certain way. But it's just been a beautiful way for me to express who I am and also empower people in the process, because I think a lot of women actually reach out to me and they would tell me, oh my gosh, because of you, I decided to wear my hair like this. It was never my intention to inspire anybody but my little sister. And it's to find out that other people are, inspired by it. Because again, the more we see it, the more we're comfortable with it. So I think that has been a great, payoff for sure.
No, definitely. I mean, I can get that. It's like somebody told me the other day, I went to Whole Foods. She said, wow, I love your hair, and she said, did you always have it natural? I said, no. And she's like, you know what? She was like, your hair, like, that's my hair goal. That's my hair goal. Because that's the thing. I truly believe that when we really choose to step up as who we are, we really allow people to truly, how can I say it? Like, truly be who they are. Like, we actually empower them and give them the courage to be who they are.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
Exactly.
definitely.
No, definitely. I couldn't agree with that more, because really, like you said, it gives that person a chance to feel more comfortable with that step that they were going to take. And like I tell people, since I have my hair like that, it was never my intention of doing it to get compliments. But quite frankly, in 1 week, I probably get more compliments than I would get, in a whole month or maybe a whole year.
It's true.
My hair straight. And again, it's not me trying to, it's not me making it look any better or anything like that. It's actually just me having my hair the way it is. So that has been another reminder of the fact that I don't need to, to look for something on the outside for me to be more of who I am and for me to be more accepted, definitely.
No, definitely. So totally get it. So let me ask you, what would you say, what's your message to women who are considering this doing doing that transition, that natural journey,
Right.
or who are curious, who are actually starting? Like, what would you say to them? And maybe it could even be something that for you, you didn't know, that nobody told you. What would be your message to them?
Right. The first thing I would say is find out why you want to do it. Kind of like goes back to my story, having a strong reason why I wanted to do it that was bigger than just my ego. I want to look good or whatever. Having a strong reason why you want to do it first, and then educating yourself as much as you can. And whether that means, getting in touch with other curly girlfriend who can help you, using Google, using YouTube. I mean, YouTube, there's so much information on it. You could get lost on YouTube. And reading some great books. For me, the Curly Girl Handbook was a really, really good read for me because, again, it's funny because she's like she's white and blonde hair, but she had curly hair as well. And it was amazing to read her story and her testimony, and also to see how she went about, maintaining her curls and loving her curls. So really, when you decide to make that change, make sure that you surround yourself with the support, whether it be the friends who are going to support you, and the having the right tools, like the actual tools, and looking for the right information online, and whether it even mean changing your hairdresser. I had to switch my hairdresser. As much as I loved the one I had before, great friend, great, long-term friend, because you develop a friendship with them. Her belief about hair was not aligned with where I was trying to go. So that was something that was important for me to change my hairdresser to someone who is used to dealing with curly hair, because otherwise it's a constant conflict where that person is constantly trying to tame those curls when you're trying to set them free. So really that's something that I would say, make sure that you equip yourself and that you do the homework, and again, it doesn't have to be something that you do once, like you spend a whole day doing it. No, but slowly as you go, find out more information, and then also be willing to learn, about your own hair, because actually the best advice a girl gave me, because I think a lot of people when they start is that, again, like you were saying, that girl who looked at you, she's like, you have her hair goals. A lot of people, when they would look at someone who has hair that they love, they'll say, well, I want this hair. Well, that's another thing. Again, it's the fact that I needed to accept that I had a specific type of hair, not somebody else's, not my sister's, because I have two sisters and we both have different hair, but really I had my own, and I had to learn to love it and know how to treat it. So the best advice that she gave me, because I was looking at her hair, asking her so many questions, and trying to pick her brain and get as much information as I could. And then, I was telling her, oh man, I don't think I have your hair, but I would love to have your hair. And her thing, what she told me, and that set me free, was the fact that she's like, well, everybody has a different type of hair, and every hair will have things that they can do and things that they cannot do. And it's a beautiful thing. And it's very, very true when it comes to curly hair, because although we all have the curls, every curl pattern is different. Every curl pattern will respond differently to how you apply products. Whether you have, there's all kinds of way to label hair, but whatever your hair type, different products will work different ways. So the fact that she told me that early on, that everybody will have different hair, and that it was okay. It was just one thing that, I never really thought about, but it really helped me throughout my journey for sure.
No, totally get that. Yeah, definitely. So, I'm curious on your thoughts on empowerment. I know you're also a Beachbody coach. So I know you empower your coaching clients. So tell me about empowerment. Like, what would you say when you think about empowerment in terms of you empowering your clients, or just empowerment in general?
Right. Well, it's really, again, about embracing who you are, where you're at, and not trying to look at Instagram for that picture perfect of what you should be. Because again, whether you go to curly hair, whether you're talking about curly hair, whether you're talking about, body image, because I think we live in a world now where we see pictures of perfect, what perfect should look like and what we think it should look like. And it's very disempowering for women, because they are not able to find their truth in terms of who they are, because they're so lost trying to fit into that other mold. So I think what I love to do is to remind the women I work with and empower them in the sense to know that they are enough, that they don't need to look like the person next to them for them to be good enough, to be valuable enough, that really what they have is good enough. And for me, it's a journey. And I think living in, being an example of it myself is probably, one of the best empowering tool I can give people. So it's something that I take seriously, and I try my best to show people who I really am, not who, like be one person on social media and be another person, outside of it. So it's really, I think about, living in, in the moment, enjoying who you are, and knowing that there's different stages of life, and being okay with where you're at in your life, and making the best of it.
No, definitely, definitely. Okay, so what would you say if you can tell me in 1 minute? Because I don't know, I think we may have to wrap up and maybe do a few more minutes, but we'll see. What would you say that you stand for in life and why?
All right. Well, what I stand for in life is, I would say actually in 2 words: love and kindness.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say it would be love and kindness, because really, it can conquer so much, it can conquer so much. And it starts with you learning to love yourself, be kind to yourself, and in turn, you're able to reciprocate and give it to others.
No, definitely. That is so powerful. So
Yeah.
wow, there is just so much to talk about. So we'll be back. Give me a second. Hold on. We'll be back. Okay. So we're back. Katia and I, we had so much to talk about, so we had to take a quick break, and now we are back. So tell me, what are your thoughts on life purpose? And do you have one if you believe in that?
Right. Yes, I think we all have a purpose here. I think we all come with special gifts and talents. I don't think there's one person who has all the answers, and I think we all have our share to bring to the table. And I think my life purpose is really to share what I learn with others, empower them to be who they are. Empower women that I work with to be who they are, to live in their truth, and really express who they are as best as they can, and be unapologetic about it. Be okay with who they are, not try to change who God designed for them to be, to fit into the world, that they're just enough the way they are. So that, I think that's what my life purpose is.
Yes. So I love that. Would you say then, our life purposes and, like your life purpose has very much to do with who we are, like what we were, who we are, our gifts, what we, it's very much in tune with the person that we truly are, our true self.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's, you're born with it. I don't think, and that's the thing. I think this world makes us think that we have to look outside for that validation, outside to do something different, to fix something with us, for us to be able to be adequate enough. But I think we have that already in us, and I think our life experiences are a great way for us to manifest that to others, and share with others, and accept our own journey, and accept who we are. And yeah, so I would say that for you to be able to express that purpose, you have to be able to get that place. Definitely, that's how I feel.
Yes, definitely. And that's what, because that was going to be my next question to you. Did you always feel like this? And if not, what would you say? Was there a moment, a conversation? Was there something in your life where you really got, wow, like I have a purpose here and this is my purpose? Like, I'm just curious. Or maybe it developed over time, but I'm just curious, is that something that you've always thought?
Right. I don't want to say I always thought that, but I feel like it evolved. And I feel like as I became more comfortable with who I was, it enabled me to see that we're all teachers and we're all students at some point. And the roles kind of evolve. They could evolve by the minute. How many times have I learned things from my 4-year-old when I thought I was the one teaching him? So it's really something that it's about, being present and accepting who you are, where you're at, and taking in the whole experience, the whole human experience, taking it in. I feel, yeah.
No, I completely get that, because I know for myself, I always felt, at least, well, I feel as, as much as I've been like sort of conscious of it, I've always felt that I had a purpose. I didn't know exactly what it was. but definitely it became clearer. And I have to say it develops even more every day. But it really, the clarity really became like I really came when I really got to know who I really am, which is still something that I'm still learning and figuring out. But it's like I've become stronger in wanting to fulfill it. So I think definitely, and I think the more, like you said, the more we become who we were brought here to be, the more we choose to embrace and share our authentic self. That is how we're really able to fulfill our purpose, and
Yeah.
make a difference. So I'm curious, what do you believe the world needs more of? And if it had it, it would make a huge difference in the world.
Right. I think the world needs more acceptance. And I think that acceptance has to start with me. It has to start with each one of us. So accepting who I am. And again, it goes back to the hair, right? Accepting who I am. That's why I always tell people it's not just hair. It allowed me to learn so much about myself and really accept who I was and not try to change it again. Allowed me to accept others, so basically accepting my shortcomings and accepting the fact that I'm not perfect, that I'm human, that I have those things that maybe I'll never figure out, and some of the things that I'm pretty good at has allowed me to have so much more acceptance for others, and to also be able to appreciate what they have to bring to the table as well, and not be so caught up trying to judge, and determine how they should be, but really being able to receive and be open to who they are. So I think definitely acceptance.
Yeah, I love it. And I mean, for me, I also see acceptance as love. Because I
Exactly.
think that, and it's so true, because until we can really fully accept who we are, it's, accept ourselves, we really can't accept another human being. We can't accept other people. And same thing with love. So that is so powerful. It is very true. And
Yeah.
especially, I think, in the times we're living in right now, we could definitely use a lot more acceptance, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, I know. So tell me, so I know, like, for me, I follow you on Instagram and I see you on Facebook as well. We're Facebook friends. So how do people find out about you, what you do? How will they be able to find out about your work and about, if they want to go and start following you on your social media pages? So tell me, if you want to tell us, how do people connect with you?
Right, sure. All of a sudden, like the sun kind
Yeah,
of
the sun, I noticed.
let me
You
see
want to
some.
move, or is
Yeah,
it
let's do this.
bother you?
Here it is.
See, for me, it's totally fine because, hey, remember, I'm all about authenticity and all of that. So we're not trying to make this perfect, but
Exactly. No, but it was in my
I
face,
want to make
literally.
sure that it's not
I
bothering you.
know.
That's
Exactly.
what matters.
Yes, yes. No, definitely. I would love to connect and with your followers and get to know them better. And they can find me either on Instagram or on Facebook. And on Instagram, it's pretty simple. It's Fit Curly. So fit, because again, I'm a health and fitness coach. So Fit Curly for the curly hair. And on Facebook, they can find me at facebook.com/Fit Curly Life. So that's where I would love to connect with them and get to know them better and definitely go on this journey with them.
Okay, great. And do you have a website or something, or?
At the moment, it's exclusively Instagram and Facebook. Yes.
Okay, okay. And
Yeah.
do you want to tell them, because I'd love for my audience to know, do you have a particular group that you work with? Like, who are who are the people that you mostly target? Obviously, I know you probably open to work with everyone. I don't know, but I want you to
Right,
tell us
right.
about your work.
Well, I think based on the season of my life that I'm in, I love working with moms, with busy moms, and kind of reminding them that it can be done. They can get their health back because typically that's usually one of their biggest challenges, trying to fit back in those jeans and look good and feel good about themselves and have that energy to run after the little ones. Or maybe if they're at the stage where they're pregnant, I just love working with either future moms or moms at the moment where I can kind of empower them and share my own journey and what has worked for me and what has worked for my other challengers as well who are in that situation. So definitely that's typically the audience I work with the most. But I love, I would love to help anybody who's looking to make a change, really. So my key is to help people make a change in their health for the better and really accept who they are and enjoy life in general when it comes to starting with their health and everything else.
Great, perfect. That's great. And I want to say that I follow Katia on Instagram and Facebook as well. And she's as I shared before, she's expecting, her and her husband, they're expecting a baby, and her son is gonna have a little sister, so she's having a girl. You know, I see pictures of her, videos of her doing her workout, and I'm like, wow, it's so inspiring because
Mhm.
sometimes women are like, I'm tired, or we're like, we need to eat or something. People say I eat for two. And I think it's so inspiring to see her, being pregnant and still getting her workout on, and also, doing her work. So that's just amazing of, empowering and inspiring women to be healthy, to eat clean. And I also love, I have to say, I really love, I mean, I'll bring you back in and we can talk about more about that. But I have one of the things I always say when I see your post is that for me, I'm into clean eating as well, although I've fallen off the wagon here and there. But I've never been the type where I'm not gonna eat this at all completely. And I love, because it seems like that's sort of like what you do too, where it's about moderation. It's not about completely just not doing this. Never a burger. I know for me, I like to have a burger sometimes with fries, but I just don't have it every day. Or a cupcake, red velvet.
One cupcake, right?
I have to tell you,
No, that's
no, for me. I have to tell. I don't know. I mean, I haven't been to that many cupcake places in Miami, but when I was in DC, I was teaching Zumba. And there was a cupcake place not too far, and I would have it once in a while, and I would control myself. But I was telling somebody, I'm going to DC next month, and I'm like, I know I'm gonna go have some red velvet cupcake. 'Cause I haven't found a good one like the ones I've found there. So just to say, like for me, I can't say I'm not gonna have a cupcake ever again.
right. Right. No, absolutely. And that's the thing I really stress with my challengers. It's a lifestyle. It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle. A diet you go on for 2 weeks and you're off of it and you gain all the way back. But this is really a lifestyle and showing you how you can have a normal life, a regular life, and especially for moms, we have to deal with birthday parties all the time. We have to deal with those constant, temptations, when it comes to our kids being surrounded by all that kind of food that is not so healthy. So it's really about making the right choices and balancing it out. So I love teaching that to people, and I'm definitely the person who will not tell you never have a burger, because that's not me. And for me, like, really telling somebody not to have something is just an incentive to have it, because it's just going to get your brain to have it. So it's really about changing your mindset, and that's what I love to focus on, for sure.
No, I completely agree. So, like I said, definitely you'll be back to talk more about that. So, I wanted you. Do you have any final words that you want to say, whether it be about, you know, empowerment or life purpose, or along the line of what we were saying for regarding the natural hair? Is there any one last thing that you'd like to say? And it could even be something that you want to share with someone who is in that journey, or and who's struggling with it, you know?
Right. Well, I would say my final words for that person who's listening, who is either on the verge or is in the middle of transitioning and struggling with it, is to tell you that it's worth it. It's totally worth it. And, you will enjoy it so much when you get to that stage. It is a difficult point that you might be in, or you might be so nervous to give it a try, but jump all in and you'll be amazed to see how enjoyable the journey can be. Definitely.
Definitely. Okay, well, thank you so much, Katia. It was great
Yeah.
having you. And I can't wait to have you back, where we'll be talking about healthy eating, fitness,
Good.
wellness, and all of that, which I know is another jam of yours.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome. Love and light.
Thanks. Take
And
care.
thanks for everyone for joining us. And again, I'm going to be writing down, you can see below exactly where you can find out about Katia. And please feel free to leave us a comment or something. And any questions to her, I'll ask her if she, for her to answer any of your questions. So
Sure.
thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay, bye.